The action as your undefeated St. Louis Attack have their first and only non-conference, non-league game of the season versus the Gateway Hawks. And sitting to my left is Gary Bowdy. Dave Solomon will be by shortly. But Gary, I know you've got a lot of knowledge of the Gateway Hawks as they're coming in here. They play outdoor, but they're playing a non-conference, non-league game here tonight as they tune up for their season.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. I don't know if I can take the place of Mr. David Solomon, but we're going to try our best here. But you're exactly right. The outdoor team here, owned by Mary Rocha. Mary Rocha is one of the few female owners of an outdoor football team, and they play right here in the St. Louis area. And basically, they've been around for a long time. Years ago, they used to have the Rage Football, the Rage Football League here, I should say, the Rage Football team here, and they used to play against Mary's team. And it was really kind of a joke at that time because they would win, the Rage would win like 70-0 and something like that. But over the years, the outdoor team started to learn a little bit more about the indoor team because it is vastly different.
All right, fantastic. And the St. Louis Attack coming in at 6-0 on the season. Second in the league is the Florida Marine Raiders at 4-3. So the Florida Marine Raiders have the best shot at this point to, I guess, play the Attack in the X Bowl. But right now, nothing is set in stone. The next game of the St. Louis Attack will be right here against the Savannah Steam, Friday, May 23rd at 7:35 here at the Family Arena. The Gateway Hawks were established in 2002, and they're members of the Great Midwest Football League. The Hawks play their games at the Hawks Nest in Wentzville. And sitting to my left, as always, is Scott Gherkin. Scott, one of the general manager from TalkSCL.com. And, you know, Scott, things are going well here, and the Attack is undefeated right now, and we're looking for some exciting action tonight.
Absolutely. It's been a great season, actually. I didn't know what to expect, first year being here, and it's turned into one of my favorite times of the week and time of the month or whatever it is you want to call it. And I've just been having a blast with these games. I just think they're unbelievable.
Oh, they're a lot of
fun.
Is great.
Anytime
you can get to a championship, that's going to be a fantastic situation. So hopefully Andrew Haynes will be bringing a championship along with Chris McKinney and all the great players. Tonight's a very special night out here at the St. Charles Family Arena as it's the Mercy Isaac Bruce night. So this should be very exciting, Gary, and I know you're excited to have Isaac Bruce on hand here tonight. And it looks like your compatriot brought a very cool picture from the Super Bowl.
Scott Spellbrink, spelled with one L, basically is here. He has a Post-Dispatch from 2000, January 21st, and it has Isaac Bruce on the front holding the trophy. And Scott got here a little early, was down, got an autograph. He also has a helmet, got an autograph from number 80. So he's pretty excited here tonight, and everybody should be. Again, if you're in the area, come on over. There's lots going to be happening tonight, and have an opportunity to see the Reverend here.
Yeah, the Reverend Ike. So maybe he'll make his way up to the broadcast booth at some point. You never know.
We have requested. We'll see.
Right now, the Gateway Hawks are getting underway. They're doing their introductions right now. On Friday, June 13th, the St. Louis Attack and their opponent in the X Bowl will visit Mercy Children's Hospital. This is a great way to give back to the community, said St. Louis Attack head coach Chris McKinney. McKinney goes on to say that we are blessed to be in a position to help out children in the community and hopefully brighten up their day. Anything the Attack can do to cheer the kids up and bring some normalcy to their lives is an honor. And along with visiting Mercy Children's Hospital, the players from both teams will be at a variety of other events in the community on X Bowl weekend. So tonight, once again, is Isaac Bruce night at the Family Arena. The legendary Rams wide receiver is in attendance. He's signing autographs, and he'll be presenting the game ball. And later on today, we'll be presenting.
I'm out here grinding. I do this for the streets, the runners. Cause I'm out here grinding. I don't care what nobody say. I'ma be me. Stay hood, stay raised, and I'm out here grinding. Talk about greatness whenever they speak about me. Cause I'm out here grinding. I ain't splitting nothing with nobody, homie. I gotta get me. I ain't slipping 8 days. I can go for 8 weeks. Ain't nothing to me, cause I am the street. Moving lights on the line, put them like me to grind. I'm on top of the game, if you like it or not. Let's deal with the realest. shopping like it's still December. Diplomat on the fender of the phantom, I'm the winner. I do it for the hood, I do it cause you can. You suckers wish you could, Ricky Ross in the bank. I don't care what nobody say, I'ma be me. Stay hood, stay raised in the streets. Talk about greatness whenever they speak about me.
Attorney at law, Jason Faust.
And trust me, from a guy who's been married 14 times, I know good and bad attorneys. You need a guy you can trust. That is Jason Faust. That's F-A-U-S-S. Whether you're talking bankruptcy, criminal defense, DUI, DWIs, family laws, you name it, he's your guy.
Find him on faustlaw.com. If you or a loved one are in need of a lawyer, give our friend Jason Faust a call. He'll help you out. 314-291-8899. He's a good guy. He's on the show every Friday. We know Jason Faust, and he's a reasonable priced lawyer.
So call him today. That number again, 314-291-8899 for attorney Jason Faust, F-A-U-S-S.
He's local, just like you. The decision to hire an attorney is an important one and should not be based solely on advertising.
Hey, it's Coach from my friends at Rookie's Bar and Grill, here to tell you about some of their all-day specials. And believe me, there are plenty. Mondays and Thursdays feature a pitcher of beer and 20 wings for only $14.99. On Tuesdays, you can enjoy a bucket of beer for $9. And Bud Select long necks are only $1.75 all day Wednesday. Happy hour weekdays from 2 to 6. And don't forget about those $1.75 16-ounce drafts during every Cardinals, Blues, Rams, and Mizzou sporting event that you can watch on one of their 9 big screens. You will never miss a game at Rookie's Bar and Grill, 1544 South Service Road, right here in Wentzville.
Hey, it's Boom Boom. I smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day for over 20 years. After walking into Vapor Locker USA, I haven't had one in over a year. You know why? Because the e-cig at Vapor Locker USA works. Once you make the decision to switch to Vapor e-cigs, this is the place to go. They actually take the time to show you what vaping is all about, from how the kit works to getting the right e-juice. Vapor Locker USA was the first brick-and-mortar vapor shop in St. Louis and has been open for over 2 years. No one has more experience in e-cigarettes than Vapor Locker USA. No one. Period. End. Kits come complete with a bottle of e-juice. With over 120 flavors to choose from, you can't go wrong, and they start at just $39.98. Now with 5 locations. 13 East Pierce Boulevard in Wentzville and 1032 Country Club Road in St. Charles, as well as Troy, Missouri, Mexico, Missouri, and now Bowling Green, Missouri. And online at VaporLockerUSA.com. Vapor Locker USA, your hometown e-cig supply store. Make sure you get the right e-cig the first time at Vapor Locker USA. I did.
Talk STL would like to give all of you a friendly reminder that although you are enjoying our broadcast on your mobile devices, please do not text and drive. Hi, I'm Reese. I want my parents, my brother, and my sister to be around me my whole life. I don't let my parents text while they're driving. But that doesn't mean someone else couldn't be the cause of an accident. That would break my heart. Whether you have kids or not, don't take a chance on your life or ours. Please do not text and drive.
Hi, it's Joe, and I'm awake today. You want to know why? Organo Gold Coffee. I discovered this about a year ago, and I can't stop drinking because there's no caffeine crash. It doesn't raise my stress level like life does. It doesn't dehydrate me. It balances my pH level. I get a lot of energy out of it. It's easy to make, and it's darn tasty. If you have not tried Organo Gold Coffee, you need to. You can go to ourcoffeeguy.com. It's easy. It's simple. It's coffee. It's Organo Gold.
Are you looking for new, exciting, and inexpensive ideas to boost revenue and attendance at your next grand opening, charity event, or fundraiser? If so, visit Pinshot.com. Pinshot.com is St. Louis's leading provider of specialty sport promotions like the half-court shot, field goal kick contest, and hole-in-one shootouts. Make your next casino or Texas Hold'em night a winner with a Royal Flush or Lucky 21 promotion. Don't forget to ask about our fall football programs. Pinshot.com, ensuring sports' greatest moments.
If you're listening to my voice right now, you're on the internet. The net is our lifeline. Without it, we're dead in the water. That's why TalkSTL.com uses J&B Technologies. They create and sell high-quality computers, desktops, and network servers. They also provide customer support and repair should something go wrong. J&B Technologies provides in-house and on-site repair for all computer makes and models, and they have the staff to back it up. If the internet is your lifeline, like TalkSTL.com is to us, use the best, J&B Technologies, jbtech.com, or call 314-993-5528. J&B Technologies.
This is St. Louis Attack Football with Todd Blackstock and Mike McNeil on TalkSTL.com.
And welcome back to the St. Charles Family Arena. Isaac Bruce has made his way out in the field. And Isaac Bruce was in the attack locker room, and our buddy Scott's here joining us. And Scott, tell us about what you saw before the game.
Yeah, he was down in the locker room pumping up the team and everything else, and went over to the Hawks side. The Gateway Hawks are really fired up for this team. They've been putting in a couple extra practices. They usually practice on Thursday, right across the street from my house. But I noticed that they're really keyed up for this game because a lot of these guys are looking at it to the point where this is a tryout for them to hopefully make it to the Attack next year.
Okay, so some of these guys on the Hawks, they're auditioning for a possible spot with the Attack. So that's pretty awesome. And right now we're going to be going to our national anthem here in just a moment. So we're going to kind of chill out here for a minute, and we're going to go ahead and let the national anthem go. So we'll be back after the national anthem. Enjoy.
It's amazing.
And our national anthem by a lovely young lady and Gary B. Scotty Gherkin. We're about ready here for St. Louis Attack action. Beautiful crowd here tonight filing into the stadium. There's a nice tailgate party going on outside, and TalkSTL.com is set and ready to bring you the action. Gary, any big news with the O'Fallon Community News?
Well, nothing going on. We're talking about tonight's game. That's been the big push here the past week, talking about Isaac Bruce being in the house and having the opportunity of seeing that superstar. Naturally, we're right in the middle of the big draft for 2014. A lot to talk about on that as we progress throughout the game. But I'm thinking tonight, I got a quick question, Todd. How many of the regular players do you think will be playing for the Attack?
You know, I think a lot of them are going to play at least at the beginning of the game. They've got to have a week off, then they're going to come back and play Savannah. And that's a game, basically, I would think that game, there might be a lot of guys sitting. They're going to have a couple weeks after that as well because the X-Bowl Championships, not until June 14th. So, I mean, if you get banged around a little bit tonight, you know, I know I don't know how long I would keep your first-string quarterback in or
Yeah.
some of this, because right now we are hosting the X Bowl, so that is something to consider. But the guys, the players, they want to play. I mean, Peyton Manning, he never wants to come out of a ball game.
Right.
Tom Brady, I mean, you have to really just kind of steal his helmet or something to get him out of the ball game. So,
well, one thing that we'll see tonight, like I said, the outdoor team is basically playing an indoor team. People say, well, there's not that big of a difference, but there actually is. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of activities going on right at midfield.
yeah, there's our viewers right now looking at the TalkSTL.com feed. You'll see Andrew Haynes, and he's got Isaac Bruce out there by his side. So pretty special night. Isaac Bruce giving a little talk in the locker room before the game. And Dave Solomon will be with us shortly with the Rams' last selection of the draft, with them picking Michael Sam, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, unanimous NCAA All-American to go that late. It's a pretty big story that the Rams picked him. I can't believe he didn't go much sooner in the draft. But Dave, it's such a big story nationally that Dave's got, all these different individuals clamoring for him. And the X-Dash is on, and once again, St. Louis Attack, they pick up the ball, and they go in first, so it's 2-0 Attack as DeAndre Jackson on the attack once again speeds down and attacks up 2-0 in the early going. Usually the Attack will defer the pick, and we'll see what happens to start this game.
Well, again, looking forward to the Hawks, watching them here play. As I mentioned, Mary Rocha is the owner. Dave Rocha, her husband, is the head coach. He's on the field in the white shirt there, right amongst all the white jerseys of the Hawks down there. So I know they're excited about playing indoor, although, as I keep mentioning, history has not treated them very well on the indoor court. But it's a lot of fun for these guys. And as you mentioned, one of these players on the Hawks may be putting on the shirt of the Attack in future weeks.
So it's almost, going into the game, you kind of think of it as possibly like a tune-up game, but then you got Isaac Bruce out here tonight, and, it's a testament to the Gateway Hawks to come out here because they're generally used to playing the outdoor brand of football, and they're coming in here, and it's kind of like indoor soccer versus outdoor soccer. When I was in college, Brian McKenna put together a group, and we actually beat the SEMO varsity outdoor team in indoor, so it's a different game.
Oh, yeah.
So, as we thought, the Attack defers, and now it's Hawk ball. Quarterback's back to pass, rolls to the right side, and he throws it into the ground. And it's going to be 2nd down and 10 as the quarterback for the Hawks, number 12, that's Jordan Powell, 5'11", 220-pounder from Ellsbury, Missouri.
And we're going to be seeing a lot of that. A lot of the Hawk players going up and down the roster here are from O'Fallon, St. Charles, St. Louis, Troy, and so all local guys naturally because they play in the great Midwest Football League. And it is a great league for these guys just to get out and extend their college debut out here indoor field now tonight.
All right, so Powell looks over the ferocious Attack defensive front. And this ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage. You got some big bodies down there with the Attack. And looks like Gerard Powell, number 39 from Kirkwood, he's back in the lineup tonight after sitting out for the Attack. So it's good to have him back.
Well, as you mentioned, there's a lot of tall guys on the defensive line of the Attack. And Jordan Powell, only being 5'11", naturally doesn't have that big stature. So that ball was easily, try to do a real quick look-in pass, easily batted down.
All right. Got big Bernard Quinn down there in the interior line from Southeast Missouri State University. He's a handful. Playing corner here on the near side, number 35, Kelvin Williams. Powell, and that's 3 and out. That's going to be the third incomplete pass right there by Jordan Powell. And I tell you what, the Attack's strength is their defense.
Well, you can see there's a lot of butterflies with the Hawks out there, and definitely the wide receiver and the quarterback were not on the same page. The quarterback wanted to fly, and the wide receiver, Chris Jones, just did a little looking on the near side. But as you mentioned, 4th down, and it's time to put a little boot on the ball maybe.
So the 2014 NFL Draft concluded today. We'll be chiming in and out and giving you our opinions about that today. And then when Dave Solomon gets here, at some point we'll have the Solomon Report, a very in-depth Savant Rain Man type report. And here they're going for the all the bananas here is the intended receiver, number 81. He looks like he had a step. That's Chris Jones, 198-pounder, 6'3" from St. Louis, Missouri. I tell you what, I give Powell a little bit of credit. He had some mustard on that one. He skied it, but just over the outstretched arms.
He had the big rainbow there, and luckily the gondola is no longer here at the family arena. But, yeah, he tossed that ball a good 50 yards in the air, but 5 yards on the other side of the intended wide receiver. Now, there again, that shows you right now, again, they give up the ball on the 5-yard line. So
you wonder if they
didn't
their
know
interpretation of the rules or
yeah,
not.
That's what I'm saying.
I may have tried to run or something just to get it out of the X zone. But right now, your St. Louis attack, led by number 13, Mike McCollum. Mike, the former baseball player, pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, leads the attack. 1st down and goal. Pitcher on the right side, number 28, and into the end zone for a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. Number 28, Chad Stanley, the 6'2", 245-pounder from Missouri S&T.
Yeah, nice little easy pitch out to the right side and slip through the would-be tackle of the left end of the Hawks and rolls in and picks up quick points here. And again, that's an easy play indoor. Outdoor, they say, wait a minute, they wouldn't do anything like that, but they do.
And Corey Adamson, the soccer player from the St. Louis Ambush, signed, is a left-footed kicker, and he gets it up, and it's good. So Corey Adamson plugs it on, and with 11:48 to go here in the first quarter, it's 10-0 St. Louis attack, and they look to be quite the dominant team here tonight.
Well, as I mentioned, they need to get a little legs. They're probably a little jittery right now, the Hawks, that is, playing indoor for the first time probably in a year. They played last year against the indoor team here. But bottom line is they need to learn the rules a little bit, as we talked about before. But the thing is that once they get settled in, I think you'll see a good team. I know Dave Rocha, head coach there, has a good quality team. This team has been around for over 12 years, and they've got good quality players on here. And they're not going to get shut out here tonight by no means.
So Corey Adamson back. He's back with the team. Last game, Jason Null did the kicking duties. So it's nice to see Corey out here tonight. We're going to save Jason's leg for the X Bowl.
A month away.
A month away.
Yeah.
So how about that? So 10-0 here in the early going. Todd Blackstock along with Gary B. Scotty Boom Boom Gherkin.
Boom Boom.
Boom Boom. And Adamson up, and he booms it into the crowd, and that's a souvenir. Oh, it bounces back. All the kids are fighting for the ball. You know, here in the X League, if the ball goes into the stands, it's a souvenir.
Even though it's kicked.
Even though it's kicked. Now, if it bounces back onto the field, that's a different story.
Yeah, the referee took that ball back because how many balls do they start off with, Todd?
I think they start off with about 50.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's usually between 8 and 12 that go out, And
if they run out, Scotty, they handed out 1,000 balls tonight. The glow-in-the-dark mercy balls.
Oh, yeah.
For the first 1,000 kids that came into the game, something like that.
I saw one kid, he had so many of them, he had his shirt wrapped around him like hiding Easter eggs.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a different offensive line or a different offensive attack here as the Hawks approach the ball first on their own 20.
All right, 11-16 and counting here in the first quarter. Wide receiver split to the near side.
Yeah, that's Chris Jones. He's one of the dominant players.
All right. Now they roll it around on the right side, and they lose about 5 yards. Big number 35 on the St. Louis attack, Kelvin Williams with the stop, and a loss of about 5 yards, so that's going to make it second down. Oh, it looks like about 16 for the Hawks.
Yeah, this is not outdoor naturally, and we're going to keep saying that throughout the game, but the bottom line is you got a lot more room when you're playing outside. when you do a toss and do a wide turn there, and naturally the boards came up pretty quick, but so did the attack with a nice 5-yard loss.
Second down, 15 for the Hawks. Shotgun formation. Receiver in motion. Powell back to pass. He throws it. It's caught at the 15. And getting up to the 19-yard line and back to the original line of scrimmage are the Hawks. And was that number 7? I believe that was number 7 for the Hawks, which would be Aaron Johnson, the 5'10", 184-pound wideout.
Yeah, the Hawks have Troy Robertson, who is used to be a coach with another team in the Great Midwest Football League. He's up here on press row, barking signals down to the head coach, Dave Rocha, and kind of giving him an idea, because right there you had number 7, Aaron Johnson, wide open downtown, or down the field, that is, and I'm sure that's going to be relayed.
Third down as the crowd starts to come alive here. Big crowd, lots of kids out here. Folks, come on down to the Family Arena. This time it's a run of about 3 or 4 yards there. Kind of right up the middle there, number 28, Jarrell Hall, the 5'10", 200-pounder from Ellsbury. And he's probably got a boat up there on the Mississippi River.
He sure does. He's probably one of those river rats out there.
I got my friend Richard Glenn's got a boat up there, and he lives in St. Charles. It's only a 20-minute jaunt from Mid-Rivers Mall or Highway 79 and 70 up to Ellsbury, and it's almost like, you're on vacation.
I used to keep my boat up there all the time, and as you mentioned, about a half an hour, you're away from the city, and you're on the boat out in the middle of the water enjoying nature out there.
You got nice areas up there like Winfield.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's 4th down and 7 for the Hawks. Powell's in the shotgun. Man in motion. Powell rolls to the right, and he gets a couple yards, and he's body slammed on his back at the 24-yard line by number 35. Unbelievable. That's Kelvin Williams again. So Kelvin Williams has been the big star on defense thus far for your St. Louis attack here in the early going. 8:26 to go here. 11-0 attack, and there's a timeout on the field.
Well, in that case, they had everybody on the left-hand side, so there was a naked run to the near side here for the quarterback there, and again, Powell had nobody in front of him to block for him, and the attack just took him, as you mentioned, and just drove him into the green turf.
Well, they got some pretty big kids over there on the Hawk side. Look at number 94. That's Lawrence Washington. The defensive tackle goes 6'3", 345 pounds. So he's a load right there.
The best of Webster Groves.
Yeah, and talking about a load, how about the Rams drafting tackle Greg Robinson out of Auburn, then coming back in the 3rd round and getting Trey Martin. I mean, unbelievable.
Well, I can't wait for Dave Solomon to get here to kind of fill us in on everything. I know 2 Mizzou players are on the roster right now.
Yeah, C.J. Gaines and Michael Sam.
Right, so that they're you keep the local flavor, which I think is always good.
Into the 7th round, I didn't see the very end of it. There had not been a Texas Longhorn picked, and in the history, since 2006, a Defensive Player of the Year has gone in the 1st round until this year, when Michael Sam went in the 7th. Good pick for the Rams, and they pitch it out to the left side, and that's Miller. Keenan Miller, the 240-pound fullback from the University of Missouri at Rolla. He gets a couple yards. We'll call it 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, Sean Gassaway, linebacker, got in there real quick and only allowed him a 2-yard gain in that case.
So 2nd down and 8. 7:48 to go in the first quarter. 11-0 St. Louis attack. Gary B., Scott Gherkin, Todd Blackstock bringing you the action. McCollum back to pass. He fires a bullet, and he actually goes down. He gets hit by number 16. That's Sean Gassaway. And I tell you, McCollum doesn't go down very often. He's 6'6", 270 pounds, and he's like an oak tree out there. And with hits like that, if the attack can get a big lead, then maybe they will rest some of their starters in the second half.
And you could see the 2 wide receivers on the far side were not on the same page as number 13, because one stopped short and one about 3 yards, the other one about 5 yards. and McMullen actually threw the ball about 15 yards downfield. So they have to get the notes together here.
All right, McMullen back to pass. He's got a man over the end, into the 5, down to the end zone, touchdown! Mike McMullen from Glendale College. He throws a bullet into the end zone, touchdown!
I tell you, that was only a second pass. Naturally, he took over for it. The first pass being incomplete. He put this right on the money. Far right side was the receiver, and he picked it up, came across the field, picked up the ball about the 10-yard line, and then turned on the afterburners there and busted that line for a few points.
All right, so Adamson in for the PAT. It's now 17-0, 6:25 and counting here in the first quarter. Adamson puts it up, and it's good. So how about that? So we've seen some scoring from some of different players tonight. I mean, if you look at the league-wide scoring, Marcellus Wilder from Alabama, he's leading the scoring with a whopping 92 points thus far this year. But at number 2 and 3, it's St. Louis Attack players. DeAndre Jackson with 72 points. There's no surprise there. Daryl Grady Jr. had a huge first game. He's got 56 points. And we've got Keenan Miller and Christopher Head. Marcus Dickinson's on the board. Corey Adamson's on there as well. So the Attack doing very well.
Well, and as you mentioned, too, this is a non-league game, so they have an opportunity to use some of the other players and try some new things. You know, this is a good practice game, basically, is what it is. So they can try some new things that might click, and they can naturally may be able to use in the several games that are left in the season.
All right, Adamson with a kick. It's going down into the end zone, and it's going to be coming out past the 5, 10, and no further than the 10-yard line.
Great open field tackle.
Yeah. Daniel Linneman, he took that ball about 5 yards deep in the end zone, a few yards deep in the end zone, and really never had any blocking lined up for him. 3 yards in the end zone and went immediately to the far side of the field. Never really had an opportunity, as I mentioned, to pick up any blocks over there, and the Attack did a great job, I should say, getting downfield and only allow them out to the 11-yard line.
So the Attack with an 18-0 lead with about 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And we'd like to thank and welcome everybody right now. It's Todd Blackstock along with Gary B., Scotty Gherkin.
And Boom Boom.
Boom Boom. We're getting a nice plug.
You got it.
And Gary, we'd like to thank you for your plug of Talk STL and the St. Louis Attack in your newspaper this week. Really appreciate it. Oh, my goodness.
Whoa.
There's a flag down as the running back gets back to the line of scrimmage, but I'd tell you there's some tempers flaring down there a little bit right now.
Yeah, Gerald Hall got the pitch from the quarterback, and he was going the wrong way to start off with. He went about 6-7 yards the wrong way, and then finally made the corner. He picked up a couple blocks on the outside and went through a would-be tackler as he came on the near side. Got out to about the 12-yard line as they pick up the flag. I didn't see what the penalty. It looks like they're walking it off.
We'll hear from the referee.
He's not going to tell us.
It's a secret. I don't think they're giving us the feed we need here either.
No.
Hey, look, we're on the ribbon boards finally. How about that?
Yeah. How about that? We like that. We love the PR. TalkSTL.com's good news we'll be relating here to you shortly. But right now it's 1st and 10, Gateway Hawks.
It must have been against the Attack as the Hawks pick up first down.
And a quick pass. Incomplete at the feet of the intended receiver.
Well, you can see right now, again, Jordan Powell, the quarterback of the Hawks, is running backwards, and he's throwing off his back heels. He's he's not getting set out there. He knows this game is twice as fast as his outdoor game that he usually is used to playing. So he hasn't really got into his rhythm as yet, getting set and throwing the ball. That's why all of his passes, throwing from his back foot, are low and they hit the turf before they get to the wide receiver.
So right now, number 81, Chris Jones, lines up to the near side. Powell's barking out the signals. And a fumble. And it's picked up by the attack. Down to the 5-yard line. And it's a first down and goal for your St. Louis Attack. I see no flags on the play. So with 4:19 to go, it's going to be attack ball, first and goal.
Yeah, Whittier Rodarius was very good in that play right there. The quarterback never did get the handle. Never did pick it up, and then he backed away when he saw the ball in front of him. He says, I'm not going to jump on there and get jumped on. And number 2 of the attack immediately picked it up and tried to go to pay dirt, but got tackled 5 yards short.
So the St. Louis Attack this year have got 334 points for. And the next team closest, the Florida Marine Raiders at 226.
Wow.
So that is amazing.
So what does that average out to be? 334 divided by what? How many games?
6.
6 games. There you go.
56.
Over 50, yeah. Over 50 points a game. That's entertainment for the fans.
Oh, absolutely. So once again, Mike McMullen, the quarterback. He looks into the end zone and throws a strike for a touchdown. Touchdown Attack!
Looks like Cousin It is playing for the Hawks over there. That's a hairdo now.
Yeah, I tell you, Derek Moore picked up the ball Derek Moore, defensive back of the Hawks, ran toward the quarterback and left the wide receiver wide open, made it an easy touchdown.
It looked like that was Daryl Dunston on the TD, but we'll confirm that. Snap back, ball down, kick up, and it's good. So Adamson is money so far tonight, and with 3:15 to go in this ball game, Gary, we are on our way to the century mark. If the Attack keep up this pace, they can win this game by over 100 points.
Well, I think the last time we broadcast together, it was down at the Scott Trade Center. And
yeah, the River City Rage.
I think it was like 114 points.
Wow.
So, yeah, we were just going crazy that day. But the opposite team actually, Boom Boom, took a player or two out of the stands because they didn't have enough players.
All your special events, including weddings,
it was pretty wild and
be a
very
guest
entertaining.
at your own
They
party.
said, hey, Bubba, you want to
Check
come
us
on
out
down
at
and play?
You look like a big
championshipcatering.com.
guy.
And the Hawks are obviously used to a traditional scoring as far as outdoor football. I mean, much like an NFL or college ball, something like that. So this is probably a little weird for him, too, as well.
You know, there's a lot of different rules. There's no punting in the X League. So Adamson, he sends this one down.
There's one for the kids.
Oh, stays in. And the Hawks come out.
Oh.
You know, they're playing hard. I mean, you got to give it to them. What number is that, 21?
Yes.
You got to give it to him. Right there's number 21, Daniel Lindemann from Troy, Missouri. Just a little guy, 5'7", 190.
Quick.
Kind of looks like Darren Sproles out there.
I tell you, he had a burst of speed, and he won, and good tackle by the Attack. Hit him low, and the guy running back with the ball there didn't even try to move out of the way. He just got popped, and as you saw, did a somersault there. So a little different. Outdoor, you don't see that happening.
All right, so 2:43 to go here in the first quarter. 26-0 St. Louis Attack, and it's Hawks ball. They're going to take over first and 10 from the 12-yard line.
Yeah, Jordan Powell really needs to find a way to get set on his throws and find his timing here quickly.
He needs to work on his footwork. It's a quick hitter on the right side. Up to about the 15-yard line. Gain him a couple there, and see Gerard Powell and a host of Attack players right there. He's kind of muscling up right there. Lowry's in on that one.
Well, as you mentioned, Daniel Lindemann's only 5'7", but he got that quick handoff from his quarterback, tried the near side, and he did pick up a couple blocks there, picked up about 3 yards or so, but never really had an opportunity with any other blocks after that as the Attack ran him down and put him to the turf immediately.
Yeah, the Attack defense is definitely penetrating the offensive line pretty quickly, not giving them much room to do much of anything.
2nd down and 7. Hawks ball. 1:30 to go here in the first quarter. Man in motion. Powell, quick pitch to the left side, and it doesn't fool anybody, especially number 5 right there, Jason Null from Blinn Junior College. formerly of the Peoria Pirates.
Well, one thing the quarterback should do right now, usually you're playing about 7 yards as a quarterback. You're 7 yards, 8 yards back behind the line of scrimmage. And right now he's 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So that naturally cuts it in a lot of time at that point. He doesn't have an opportunity to maybe even see the field. He's got to act immediately. And again, that's keeping him off balance and keeping him on his heels, as we talked about earlier.
So Gerard Powell, Quinn, and Null form just a ferocious front three. Kind of taken after the St. Louis Rams and what they're trying to do. Powell, quick hitter, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Montrez Merriweather, 5'9", 184-pounder.
Yeah, it zipped by him, but Dallas Vaughn, the secondary receiver, almost got the deflection. He was about 5 yards further downfield and nearly had that possibility of picking up that ball, but it hit that green turf out there. But he's starting to get, as you can see, he's starting to get set now, and he's getting closer. Let's say that. He's getting closer to his wide receivers.
All righty, and that'll do it for the first quarter. With the score, St. Louis Attack 26, the Gateway Hawks 0. We'll be back with second quarter action. After this, you're listening to St. Louis Attack Football on TalkSTL.com.
TalkSTL.com is the home of the Attack. St. Louis Attack Football, only on TalkSTL.com. A broken phone means hassle to some, to others, catastrophe. Don't replace it, repair it. CPR has 8 area locations to fix it and get you on your way. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com. Your phone has water damage? CPR can fix it. Cracked screen? CPR can fix it. Broken tablets, laptops, game systems, or any other device? CPR can fix it. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com. 8 locations in the St. Louis Metro. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com to find a store near you. CPR can fix it.
Good day and welcome to TalkSTL.com. While you enjoy your listening experience to our original programming, we would like to announce that Shamrocks is TalkSTL.com's official watering hole, eatery, and establishment to have happy fun times in. Whether it's enjoying their lunch buffet or trying to fill the void after partaking in too many libations, Shamrocks will not disappoint. May we suggest the Pub House Club or the Dublin O'Fatty. Dublin O'Fatty. Fun to say, even better to eat. Shamrocks. Be sure to say TalkSTL.com at the bar and receive $1 Fetrol Naturals. Again, fun to say, better to drink. $1 Fetrol Naturals. Shamrocks, Veterans Memorial Parkway at 70 in Cave Springs. Party starts when you arrive.
TalkSTL.com is the home of the Attack. St. Louis Attack Football, only on TalkSTL.com. This is St. Louis Attack Football with Todd Blackstock and Mike McNeil on TalkSTL.com.
And Mike McNeil of the Carolina Panthers was our original broadcast partner, and he signed with the Panthers. He was an unrestricted free agent. Scheduled to make twice the money Lance Kendricks was this year, and he was going to be the third-string tight end and special teams player. So congratulations to Mike. And as far as I know, the Carolina Panthers didn't take a tight end in their draft. So if Mike can get in, I think, play 3 games this year, then he'll have his tenure in the NFL, and he'll get his full pension. So we wish Mike McNeil the best. What a super guy. Out of Kirkwood, Missouri. Played at Kirkwood, then in Nebraska with the Colts, and then a couple years with the Rams. So we're real excited about him. All right. Hawks ball, completion to the 25-yard line, and a first down, and that was on 4th and 8. So it seems like here in the second quarter early on that perhaps the Hawks have got their footing a little bit, literally, and maybe they're starting to figure this indoor game out and at least settle down a little bit, because you could tell how nervous they were opening the game.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And again, that pass there, the wide receiver knew where he needed to go as well. That tells you the experience of the wide receiver. He knew he had to get to the 25 23-yard line, their own 23-yard line minimum, to get that first down, and he went to the 25, and a perfect bullet pass thrown by Jordan Powell there right in the numbers.
So perhaps the Hawks will get a little momentum. They got it could be their first down of the game. We don't have our Savant encyclopedia here just yet. But we're looking forward to him if he makes it.
Uh-oh.
There's another fumble picked up by Gerard Powell. Oh, my goodness. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. He picked that baby up. He had the quarterback on his back, and he just rolled through it. First touchdown of the year for Gerard Powell, number 39.
Well, that ball bounced perfect right at the
sure did.
16-yard line of the Hawks, and it just bounced right up in his numbers there. And as you mentioned, the quarterback from the Hawks, Powell, tried to grab his jersey and pull him down.
Powell on Powell.
Powell was just too strong for Powell.
All right, so Adamson in for the PAT. The lefty stands back at the 12-yard line. Snap back, ball down. It is blocked. Looks like possibly by number 66. He had his hands up, and he was clapping and jumping up and down. At 66, we don't have a
on
number.
The roster. He just started playing today.
I think that's the first block I've seen on an extra point attempt.
I think there might have been one in the first game. Like the first quarter or the first touchdown.
No, there wasn't.
Maybe. I don't remember that far back. I've been deluded.
You know, Todd, one thing I want to say about kicking, the 10 years I broadcast for the Rage Indoor Football here at the Family Arena, the kicking really comes into play. And again, that you can win, you can lose games. And I'm sure you remember, Boom Boom, over the years, the kickers, I mean, they were just monstrous kickers. They would last maybe 2 games. They just couldn't get out there. Cardinal Cowboy used to be, a mutual friend of mine. He used to be out here and trying to kick it, and it's just something about it. I mean, he can kick 40, 45-yard field goals. In fact, he played for the Hawks, and he can really boom it, but the kicker, and I tell you, that's really going to make a difference.
You know, it's nice to see Adamson back out here. Actually, he's got a great leg, and, Null's been filling in to allow more defensive players on the roster for the season, and it's good to see him back out there. Hopefully they can keep him in for the X-Bowl and things like that.
Well, I noticed when he kicked the ball, he stayed at the end zone down there at the goal line. He didn't run down.
He's no dummy.
Yeah, he didn't run down there. He says, well, I'm just going to stay here and watch everybody else run. Again, talking about small stature, 5'7", 155. So
he's just a little soccer player.
Yeah.
With a big foot. Well, I'd say the national media is very impressed by the St. Louis Rams draft, taking the big tackle from Auburn at number 2 overall. But then they came back and got Aaron Donald at number 13, and I think he won just about every trophy. I know he won the best defensive player. He pretty much cleaned house with all the awards, and he's a little bit undersized, but kind of a terror from the University of Pittsburgh. So looking forward to that. And then the running back from Auburn. If anybody watched the SEC championship game, you saw Robinson opening those holes, and we've got the running back and the stud tackle as the play goes to the right side there.
Not much
and the
there.
helmet comes off. Number 21,
the penetration
Daniel
of the
Lindemann.
defense is just overwhelming this offensive line right now.
Yeah.
And this quarter is brought to you by Vapor Locker USA.
And as you can see out there, Gateway Hawks have a new quarterback out there, Rob Thompson, 6'1", 180, out of the Gateway City here. And you're going to see a lot of running from this guy. This guy is a quick dude. He made a handoff that time, but after he got done with his handoff, he followed through to show the coaches that, hey, this side was wide open. If I keep the ball and do a quarterback run, we can do that too. But this guy is super fast, number 8, Rob Thompson.
All right, so second down and 12 with 11:15 to go here in the first half. It's man in motion, number 2. Quick hitter, and looks like the wide receiver, number 6, Montrez Merriweather. He looked up just as that ball was zipping by his head.
Thompson's got some zip on the ball, too. I mean, he can throw.
He has a tight spiral, and you're right. He's on center. He took the ball right on center and immediately winged it, tight spiral, about 6 yards downfield, and it just whistled by the intended receiver.
I think we can actually hear it whistle up. Gary B.
Buzz by his ear.
So this guy's pretty exciting. You get him going here. You get 1 or 2 plays set up. He's got 2 wide receivers on the far side, and you're going to hear a lot more from 81, Chris Jones.
Thompson back to pass, 5-step drop, wings it, complete at the
pass.
17, and up to about the 19-yard line, close to the 20-yard line. And I believe that was 4th down, so.
Yeah, it's 4th down now, 4th and 2. But this guy throws the ball. A lot of the people out there who remember the cardiac, or I should say the football Cardinals, Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart used to throw the ball so hard that the other players, or the wide receivers, had a hard time catching it a lot of the time.
You know, Jim Hart, when he retired, was the 3rd all-time leading passer in the NFL. And that's when they played 14 games, and the emphasis was on run. So that's a different era. And, you know, I guess the fact that they never went to a Super Bowl is keeping Jimmy Hart out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But Dan Dierdorf got in, and finally Roger Worley finally got in. There's a guy here tonight, when he retired, was the number 2 leading wide receiver in history behind Jerry Rice, and that's Isaac Bruce. It's Isaac Bruce night here at the Family Arena. Thompson squirms to the right side, and trips over his feet a little bit, and he gets up to about the 21-yard line.
Good penetration by the attack there. There was a fake handoff, and it was going to be a keeper with the quarterback, number 8, Thompson, going to the far side. Well, he got tripped up. It was so congested there. The attack were in there so quick on him. He really had no lane on the far side to run. Got tripped up, got 1 yard, and the attack's going to take over on the 21-yard line.
So with 9:15 to go here in the first half, the attack are going to take over after 4th down. They're going to take over on downs.
I was a little confused. I saw all the Hawk players go to the other side of the field. I go, wait a minute, is this the end of the quarter?
Well, there's official timeout on the field.
Yeah,
so
and that's when I noticed
it's
that.
kind of a good opportunity to get you to the bench and kind of get a breath of fresh air and kind of chill for a minute.
Get the junior end zone dance here for the.
There we go. We got some fun stuff going on. Now, Diva Lee's in Mexico, so she's not here tonight either. We'll try to get Diva Lee back for the X Bowl if we can get her. She's not in Mexico or Sanibel Island or.
Looks like the yellow shirt's going to win. He's a little ecstatic. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's doing the sack dance.
It's making me dizzy doing those cartwheels.
Well, the girl over there has got nothing on these guys. So, Scott, did you have a chance to watch any of the draft?
I did not, actually. I was working all night last night and rewiring the studio, actually, for the Rascals broadcast. That we got
Okay, that's
up.
great news. I understand that we're going to be, last game, we had Lisa on here, the assistant GM from the River City Rascals. And so their season's coming up here very soon. Scotty, what should we expect?
The 15th starts their first away game. Their first official home game is actually the 23rd of May. And we'll be carrying all 96 games on the network. They have their own channel now on Talk STL. We have a separate channel for the Rascals. So it's not interfering with any of the attack broadcasts that we have on the main channel. And I don't know, we're gearing up. I'm excited to have the new partnership with them and add it to the repertoire of what we're doing over at the network there.
I tell you, we're just adding things. What about the St. Louis Surge? Last year, did they
the
go
basketball,
on?
right?
Yeah, the women's basketball. Did they? I'll be back doing the public address. But I understand that they ran off one of our feeds as well last year.
I think there was initial talks with the initial
feed.
owners of the
with Dave Green.
Yeah,
and
yeah, and I believe that never came to fruition for us.
Never materialized. All right.
McMullen's still in the game.
Yeah, surprising.
Boy, number 94 is a wall, isn't he?
God, he's a beast.
Oh, quick
McMullen,
pass.
yeah, it's completed down to the 15 and swung back to the 16-yard line. A gain of about 5.
Yeah, nice grab there by Sean Gassaway, the linebacker. Grabbed a hold of the shirt, would not let go, even though he did get 6 yards on the play. But what a bullet. He threw, Mike McMullen threw 3 players there's arms, and he put that. He put that ball right where he needed to put it.
Right in the basket.
Right in the basket, and he threaded that needle with a perfect spiral pass right there. And
McMullen is a big man, 6'6", 270 for a quarterback. That's a huge individual.
He's
very athletic.
He's the second or third biggest guy in the field.
Oh, and he's very athletic.
Is this Grady?
Oh, wow, the wall is laying on everybody out there.
God,
he's a big boy.
We call him the pancake.
What's his name? I'm sorry.
Dale Grady Jr.
Number 94 on the
run
Hawks. Lawrence Washington, 6'3", 345 from Webster Groves. Big boy.
He was probably coached by Cliff Ice. Did he go to Webster Groves High?
Oh, I am not sure.
No, if he lives in Webster Groves, he's 350 pounds, and he
probably
played
went
football.
he probably went to Webster.
Uh-huh.
Unless they recruited him to another school outside of.
They picked up a first down.
He could have went to Kirkwood. Or maybe CBC.
They're trying to decide if it's 1st and 10 or 1st and goal, and they've decided it's 1st and goal.
Well, just over 7 minutes to go in the half. And this time, Dale Grady Jr. again, the 5'11", 230-pounder from Lindenwood University. And that reminds me.
There was a Lindenwood grad.
Pierre Desir.
Yes.
From Francis House Central. Finally got drafted. And so I think he got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. So what a great story
They
that
made
is.
some pickups. You know,
They
Cleveland's
did.
a football
picked up Johnny
town,
Manziel.
You know?
When they used to have the dog pound. I hate Cleveland because my dad's from Pittsburgh. And they
hate's a hard word, isn't it?
Oh, my God. You know, the Steelers
You're
and the
cruel.
Browns have such a ferocious rivalry, and they're only like an hour apart, hour and a half apart. So when the Steelers fans go to Cleveland, the Cleveland fans bust out their windows, and when the Cleveland fans go to Pittsburgh fans, they let the air out of their tires and slash their tires.
30. Yeah.
McMullen throws one into the crowd for his souvenir, and it goes to a big kid.
Bounce right back to him.
Gosh, how about that? So there's one young lucky man there as we're at the 6-minute mark of the first half. 35-0, St. Louis Attack lead over the Gateway Hawks.
Well, you can see the Gateway Hawks starting to get a little bit of their feet down, and they're starting to settle down a little bit. Good defensive plays. The Attack have tried a few runs. It hasn't worked, and they couldn't match up on the pass there in the corner. Should have had a penalty thrown against them on that particular play there on a false start, but didn't get caught on that one. So now they're having a little dissension out on the field where not sure where they're to go.
I'm not sure who number 66 is that looks like Chewbacca out there with that haircut. Don't have a name in here.
Gosh, run around the right side.
It is aggressive against them walls. I mean, that can't feel good.
Dale Grady Jr. took the force of the wall.
Well, what's really crazy, too, is that you have the fans hanging over the stands or that wall down there, Boom Boom, and these guys, they're coming at you running full speed.
Oh,
and they've
yeah.
got a helmet on, they've got this padding on, and you're just a little kid standing there, and you're going, yay! And
It's like the little kids in the pool table where they put their hands in the pockets and,
ow! Or behind home plate when you got your fingers in the fence.
There you go.
It wasn't long ago when in the NHL there was no net.
Yeah.
And people started getting clocked in the face. I think somebody finally had to die. Here's
nice.
Grady.
Dale
Muscles
Grady
his way
Jr.
in.
into the end zone. Touchdown!
Well, he ran in the pancake, but he had the better pancake there.
Yeah, he got pancakes.
He became
pulled
the
his pants
syrup.
up.
He became the syrup on that pancake.
Oh,
Love
my
it.
gosh. A nice play there by McMullen. He faked a quick pass to the left side, handed it off, a delayed draw, went right up the middle, and picked up some points there.
So 4:10 to go, and the St. Louis Attack increased their lead to 41-0 over the Gateway Hawks.
Oh, I guess they let the kids back there now to try to catch the ball.
Oh, the snap is fumbled and it's blocked. It's blocked by the defensive front, Dion Young from O'Fallon, Missouri, the 6'4", 230-pounder.
Well, there has been two blocked this year.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure there's been two. There may have been three. Yeah, it looked like a little fumble up there on the hold, and that's what kept that one from
I
going
just
up.
remember the first touchdown by the Attack, something happened with their extra point. Maybe they fumbled the snap or something.
I think it was when me and when Mike McNeil bet on whether it'd be a toe ball or not. There was a lot of toe balls in that game.
Yeah, well, that was funny.
Well, getting back to the Rams, as you mentioned, this is the first time in 19 years that Coach Fisher has picked up a lineman in the draft there. So there's been a lot of firsts. They say they're not going to do any of these circus picks.
They don't listen to Mel Kiper and Todd McShay. They could care less what those guys say.
Right. But so there was a little bit of history on those first picks on Thursday night.
You know, one thing, I hope the Florida State defensive back that they traded a 5th-round pick for to move up 3 spots, they got that guy. Then they got the player from Eureka High School. Jeez.
Field goal.
It's good.
Does that counts, doesn't it?
It does count.
Yeah, it counts as points. How many points is that?
1.
Just 1 point.
How about that?
And then it counts as a touchback for the opposing team.
Yeah, they get the ball on whether they're deciding is it the 5 or the 20. I thought it was supposed to be the 20.
They got 5 refs out there tonight. They must be training a couple for the non-conference game. There's usually 3 out there. But I think they missed a call last game, so they brought 2 more out.
Three blind mice wasn't enough. They needed 5.
Well, that kick.
Great.
Let's talk about that kick right there. He's kicking from his end zone, which is to our left. The field is 50 yards, and I'm going to say 9 yards in the end zone there.
It's a 59-yarder.
And it was about 4 foot above the crossbar, which are 10 feet wide.
It's probably about a 2nd story, 3rd story still.
Yeah. So he ended up easily, pumping that ball. I'm going to say 63 yards, 64 yards.
That's incredible.
With a run-up.
Yeah.
So 2:19 to go.
Motion.
42-0.
Nice job.
Little trap
nice
play
run
there.
by the Hawks. Gerard Powell in there.
Well, he needs a new helmet. That's like the 3rd time.
That's the second. Yeah, at least the 2nd time.
He's going to get his block knocked off.
Lindemann did a super job there as a running back of the Hawks. He hit the line on the far side, did a good spin movement, and then came right up the middle of the field, and it picked up a couple blockers to pick up the 7 tough yards.
1:50 to go. 42-0. St. Louis attack. That'd be great to see a shutout in a game, a league like this.
This is a great crowd again. I mean, they're doing a really good job of getting people out, and we definitely appreciate the support, folks.
Yeah, you got to give Andrew Haynes a lot of credit. He's a marketing genius. 126, man in motion. And that one was just flat dropped. He's not making the attack next year.
That didn't have the zip on it the last one.
The guy didn't even look like he was trying for it.
No.
Looked like a little bit of a Duck Dynasty there.
Chris Jones, man, he figured he was going to get smoked, so he wanted no part of that.
That hit him right between the numbers, and as you mentioned, it just dropped directly. He's throwing it so hard, too, as we mentioned earlier.
There's a lot to be said about that, about touch. I remember when John Elway came out, he had such a bullet. Jeff George, guys like that, they would throw the ball so hard that nobody could catch it. I mean, you got to put a little touch on it. I mean, you can zip it in there when it's downfield to maybe thread the needle between a couple defenders, but when you're 5 feet away.
Yeah, the right receiver has to be there for that, too, on those zips.
I mean, if you can't catch that, it's going to be tough to get in your hands, but if it hits your chest, that baby's going to bounce off.
Throws like that, you almost got a fetal wrap. You know how you just kind of bend in and just take it all in.
Right.
Yeah, Thompson tried to, the quarterback of the Hawks tried to just do a keeper and come to the near side here, but the attack would have nothing to do with it, and they shut the door pretty quick and just picked up a few yards. And I don't think they're going to do any kicking here. I've kind of noticed that in the first 2 quarters here. The Hawks are not going to kick. They're just going to go, when it's 4th down, they're just going to go for it.
They probably don't have a soccer
Well, no, there is no punting.
No, as far as a field goal, I mean.
Oh, a field goal, yeah.
No, I mean, they could kick a field goal from here.
Sure.
Oh, okay, now I see what you're saying.
At least you get downfield so it's not they don't get the ball where it sits right now.
Well, I mean, the attack could elect to return it.
Yep,
they're up 42 points. Why not?
Exactly. But right now, if they don't succeed here, they pick the ball up on 13.
Just got a text from Dave Solomon.
Again.
He's just finishing up at Rams Park. And that'll do it. At the end of the first half, folks, 42-0, your St. Louis attack. We'll come back with some halftime highlights and chat after this as you're listening to St. Louis Attack Football on TalkSTL.com.
TalkSTL.com is the home of the Attack. St. Louis Attack Football, only on TalkSTL.com. When building the TalkSTL.com studios, we needed window tints to hide all the nefarious going on inside the studio. When giving away the free car, we needed our sponsors proudly displayed. We made a phone call to Custom Tints, 636-327-8468. 636-327-8468. If you want to shield the sun on your car or want your home or business windows tinted, Custom Tints goes all out and makes sure you get what you paid for. That's why they've been in the business for 14 years. Wrapping and tinting. Tinting and wrapping. That's what they do. And they do it well. With over 13 automotive films in stock and 9 residential and business films, they have something to shield the sun so you can be comfortable. Find them online at CustomTintsInc.com. Custom Tints, shielding the sun like no one else can. CustomTintsInc.com. Get that sun out of your eyes at Custom Tints.
Hey, it's Boom Boom. I smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day for over 20 years. After walking into Vapor Locker USA, I haven't had one in over a year. You know why? Because the e-cig at Vapor Locker USA works. Once you make the decision to switch to Vapor e-cigs, this is the place to go. They actually take the time to show you what vaping is all about, from how the kit works to getting the right e-juice. Vapor Locker USA was the first brick-and-mortar vapor shop in St. Louis and has been open for over 2 years. No one has more experience in e-cigarettes than Vapor Locker USA. No one. Period. End. Kits come complete with a bottle of e-juice. With over 120 flavors to choose from, you can't go wrong, and they start at just $39.98. Now with 5 locations. 13 East Pierce Boulevard in Wentzville and 1032 Country Club Road in St. Charles, as well as Troy, Missouri, Mexico, Missouri, and now Bowling Green, Missouri. And online at VaporLockerUSA.com. Vapor Locker USA, your hometown e-cig supply store. Make sure you get the right e-cig the first time at Vapor Locker USA. I did.
Hi, it's Joe, and I'm awake today. You want to know why? Organo Gold Coffee. I discovered this about a year ago, and I can't stop drinking because there's no caffeine crash. It doesn't raise my stress level like life does. It doesn't dehydrate me. It balances my pH level. I get a lot of energy out of it. It's easy to make, and it's darn tasty. If you have not tried Organo Gold Coffee, you need to. You can go to ourcoffeeguy.com. It's easy. It's simple. It's coffee. It's Organo Gold.
Hey, it's Coach from my friends at Rookies Bar and Grill, here to tell you about some of their all-day specials. And believe me, there are plenty. Mondays and Thursdays feature a pitcher of beer and 20 wings for only $14.99. On Tuesdays, you can enjoy a bucket of beer for $9. And Bud Select Long Necks are only $1.75 all day Wednesday. Happy hour weekdays from 2 to 6. And don't forget about those $1.75 16-ounce drafts during every Cardinals, Blues, Rams, and Mizzou sporting event that you can watch on one of their 9 big screens. You will never miss a game at Rookies Bar and Grill, 1544 South Service Road, right here in Wentzville.
A broken phone means hassle to some. To others, catastrophe. Don't replace it, repair it. CPR has 8 area locations to fix it and get you on your way. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com. Your phone has water damage? CPR can fix it. Cracked screen? CPR can fix it. Broken tablets, laptops, game systems, or any other device? CPR can fix it. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com. 8 locations in the St. Louis Metro. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com to find a store near you. CPR can fix it. A broken phone means hassle to some. To others, catastrophe. Don't replace it, repair it. CPR has 8 area locations to fix it and get you on your way. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com. Your phone has water damage? CPR can fix it. Cracked screen? CPR can fix it. Broken tablets, laptops, game systems, or any other device? CPR can fix it. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com. 8 locations in the St. Louis Metro. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com to find a store near you. CPR can fix it.
If you're listening to my voice right now, you're on the internet. The net is our lifeline. Without it, we're dead in the water. That's why TalkSTL.com uses J&B Technologies. They create and sell high-quality computers, desktops, and network servers. They also provide customer support and repair should something go wrong. J&B Technologies provides in-house and on-site repair for all computer makes and models, and they have the staff to back it up. If the internet is your lifeline, like TalkSTL.com is to us, use the best, J&B Technologies, jbtech.com, or call 314-993-5555. 6528. J&B Technologies.
Talk STL would like to give all of you a friendly reminder that although you are enjoying our broadcast on your mobile devices, please do not text and drive. Hi, I'm Reese. I want my parents, my brother, and my sister to be around me my whole life. I don't let my parents text while they're driving. But that doesn't mean someone else couldn't be the cause of an accident. That would break my heart. Whether you have kids or not, don't take a chance on your life or ours. Please do not text and drive.
I mentioned you like to come back. Opportunity, you come back.
This is St. Louis Attack Football with Todd Blackstock and Mike McNeil on TalkSTL.com.
Hey, it's Coach from my friends at Rookies Bar and Grill, here to tell you about some of their all-day specials. And believe me, there are plenty. Mondays and Thursdays feature a pitcher of beer and 20 wings for only $14.99. On Tuesdays, you can enjoy a bucket of beer for $9. And Bud Select long necks are only $1.75 all day Wednesday. Happy hour weekdays from 2 to 6. And don't forget about those $1.75 16-ounce drafts during every Cardinals, Blues, Rams, and Mizzou sporting event that you can watch on one of their 9 big screens. You will never miss a game at Rookies Bar and Grill, 1544 South Service Road, right here in Wentzville.
A lot going on in sports today. Here's Jim Shorts.
Thanks, Tom. Play It Again Sports has a new location in St. Peters off of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. Play It Again Sports has a great reputation around St. Louis as a place to go when you're looking for top-notch equipment for your kids. Cleats too small? Trade them in. Hockey, baseball, softball, lacrosse. If it's a sport, they'll probably have it at Play It Again Sports in St. Peters. 234 Mid-Rivers Center at the intersection of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and Sue Mandy. Or check them out online at playitagainstsportsstpeters.com. Open 7 days a week. Play It Again Sports St. Peters. It's a home run every time. I'm Jim Shorts, and that's your sports. Back to you, Tom.
Isaac is one of the
Thanks,
most humble
Jim.
people around. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And by the way, everybody in attendance, eligible for Hall of Fame induction in 2015, sooner or later, right? Let's hear it for Isaac Bruce, everybody.
Here's a number you need to put in your phone right now, 314-291-8899. That's our friend, attorney at law, Jason Faust.
And trust me, from a guy who's been married 14 times, I know good and bad attorneys. You need a guy you can trust. That is Jason Faust. That's F-A-U-S-S. Whether you're talking bankruptcy, criminal defense, DUI, DWIs, family laws, you name it, he's your guy.
Find him on faustlaw.com. If you or a loved one are in need of a lawyer, give our friend Jason Faust a call. He'll help you out. 314-291-8899. He's a good guy. He's on the show every Friday. We know Jason Faust, and he's a reasonable priced lawyer.
So call him today. That number again, 314-291-8899 for attorney Jason Faust, F-A-U-S-S.
He's local, just like you. The decision to hire an attorney is an important one and should not be based solely on advertising.
A broken phone means hassle to some, to others, catastrophe. Don't replace it, repair it. CPR has 8 area locations to fix it and get you on your way. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com. Your phone has water damage? CPR can fix it. Cracked screen? CPR can fix it. Broken tablets, laptops, game systems, or any other device? CPR can fix it. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com. 8 locations in the St. Louis Metro. Cellphone repair-stlewis.com to find a store near you. CPR can fix it. This is St. Louis Attack Football with Todd Blackstock and Mike McNeil on TalkSTL.com.
And welcome back. Halftime festivities here at TalkSTL.com's broadcast of your St. Louis Attack. 42-0. I think it's 43 because of a defensive stop. But the score remains 42-0, and Isaac Bruce just had his little special ceremony there at halftime and the Junior Longhorns. Parkway West, they've been a long time coming and suffering as a football school, for the last 10 years or so, ever since Blaine Gabbert left. But when he was there, they were only a 500 team as well. And Parkway West, their freshman year last year, their class really had a solid team, and they're coming up. So the Junior Longhorns now should be a force in the Suburban West Conference. And, it's been a long time coming. I know Parkway West over there, they're kind of landlocked. There's no room to expand. When Lafayette moved out west, they've got all that territory. Marquette came in and took a big chunk. Parkway Central there. And so right now it's kind of evolving back. And, I tell you what, though, the Parkway West swimming program, they've just been elected to the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame, and I'm very excited about that.
Well, Todd Blackstop, speaking of high school, I understand you had a little pat on the back this past week, huh?
Thanks for bringing it up, Gary. I was actually, they wrote a story about me in the recent edition of the Parkway newsletter. They do a periodic, seasonal. I think they do 4 of them a year. And in the spring edition of the Parkway alumni newsletter, there's a feature on me on page, 3 or 4 or somewhere in there. I'm wearing a green derby hat. They said send a picture. I sent them 5.
Yeah.
And they picked the one I was broadcasting, the Dogtown St. Pat's Parade. So they've got that. They put a nice little article on there about some of my work and awards and things. So I wanted to thank the people out at the Parkway newsletter.
Yeah, well, congratulations. That's always good to get that recognition. Over the years, you think you're out here, nobody's listening, you think, and then all of a sudden you find your picture in the paper and you're getting the attaboy attitude out there, which is kind of cool. And again, I had the luxury of putting your picture and my picture and David Solomon, the encyclopedia, in the community newspaper. In fact, if you go to mycnews.com and click on the North County paper, because there's several different papers for the community news, but you want to click on the North and Northwest St. Louis County paper, go to my page there, the sports page, page 10, and you see us broadcasting. You invited me last week, and you and David, and I had a great time. So we had Scott Spellbrink took our picture, and I had to give him some accolade. And so that turned out pretty well. In fact, you had to autograph the picture that was in the newspaper.
Well, I was happy to do it.
Well, and
I would autograph my picture, but it wasn't in there.
I was
Gary.
just going to say, boom.
I think my big head was in the way.
I keyed.
Boom Boom didn't make it. I think he made there was a cut, and I think he's on the floor of the community newspaper. But I appreciate the opportunity to work with you and Boom Boom here today and have some fun. Like I said, it's been several years since I've been up here and talking about the indoor football group. And I know Mary Rocha with the Hawks, her husband, the owner of the Hawks, Gateway Hawks, and then her husband, Dave Rocha, is the head coach. And Dave used to play when they had the Rage here. And Dave used to say they totally enjoyed playing against the indoor team, even though they knew they were going to get outmatched. And this is kind of how it was each year, that they would just kind of get blown away. And the second half, you'll probably see probably the second stringers in there, Todd. What do you think?
I'd tell you it's 43-0. Yeah, they did correct that score, as we pointed out. But I did want to give a thanks out to Jan Mizuraka and Deanna Parsons from the Parkway newsletter. Deanna Parsons was the one who wrote the nice article about us. So thank you very much. It's kind of They're 6-0 in their season right now, and they're playing a non-league game and a team that's kind of getting ready for their outdoor season right now. But I saw some glimpses of hope from the Hawks there in the second half. I think some of their jitters went away, and I know Scotty Boom Boom's got to take. What do you think, Scotty? What do the Hawks need to do to get back into this?
Right. They gotta obviously penetrate off the line on offense.
You said penetrate.
I did say penetrate. They they just got to get off the line there because the defense is getting to the backfield way too quick. There's just not much room for him to do anything. And like Gary had pointed out, they're throwing, he's throwing off the back of his heels, and he needs to get set. They need to find an offensive plan to actually put some points on the board. I think they need to really focus it on that second half.
Scotty, you're pretty good for a rock star.
Yeah,
know
I played football in high school. That was about it.
CBC?
Yeah.
Who's your coach?
My Jeezel.
There, he gets points on that one.
That guy was pissed.
Hey, they're on the board. It's not a shutout. See that? We're not even into the second of the second half.
I tell you, the Hawks are coming back.
1 point at a time.
What a kick right there.
Cam, who was it?
That was Max Brinkman from O'Fallon, Missouri, 6'2", 225. But you're right. He hit that rocket right foot, and he rocketed that ball. And, again, we talked before about the attacks kicker. He hit naturally went through the uprights. Well, this was about the same kind of a kick. So I'm going to say boom, boom, 65 yards easy.
Oh, I would think. Absolutely. It's a hell of a kick. I know
I
that.
tell you, if anyone's auditioning, that right there is probably the best player that could help an X-League team.
Yeah, somebody else. Unfortunately, not the attack, though.
Keenan Miller off the right tackle. Gets past the 15, 20. There he goes. Down inside Hawks territory. Down.
I think his knee actually caught that padding on the side there, too, which caused his knees not to keep moving on that. That might have been a breakaway there.
Those extracurricular forces.
A nice handoff, and he goes to the far side. A beautiful block by Stark Jordan. He set that up as they were coming around on the side, but you're right, he did hit the Haynes sign down there. So but they did make it into the Hawks territory to the 24-yard line.
They got another big boy out there, 73. Quentin Carr. Looks like number 94 as well. Got to be pushing 350. Big boy.
McMullen with a pass down the left side. Ooh. And running into the first down marker, the chains, number 31. Number 31, and we don't have a number. We don't have a name.
Well, another great block by Stark Jordan. A nice little pass to the near side, and then Stark Jordan, a wide receiver at 6'5", 205, put a great block to free him to pick up another 5-6 yards. So I tell you, the attack are working on these basic things. And, again, they're not being showmen or anything like that. They're just working on the basics, and when they work, naturally, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, this is a great tune-up type game. You can try different things.
And I'm really surprised the number one quarterback is still in here.
Well, that's Mike McMullen. He wants to play. He's a gamer. Quick pitch out there on the right side. Touchdown! Touchdown attack!
Well, you're probably getting tired of hearing this, but number 11 was there again. Stork Jordan was on the far side there and picked up a block as Mike pitched out to the far right side, and number 31 went up to the far right side, and what a super job he did. We don't have 31's number out here, but
yeah, we don't. He doesn't have a name on the back of his jersey, and he must be a new recruit or a new additive.
Well, he dances good too. Boom, 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 boom. He's got a good dance.
So this just in, number 31 is Alonzo Nelson.
There we go. Is it really? You
Yes.
found out. All right.
Alonzo Nelson. I'm going to double check that. But I went back to the scorers table for just a moment, and that's what I got.
Oh, Adamson hits the post.
The post this time, huh? So Alonzo Nelson, he's not in the in the open program. Maybe they got him out of the stands.
Laces out.
Well, it's a pretty good pickup if they did get him out of the stands.
Or maybe they got him from the Hawks. That's one of the cool things, though, about X-League football is that, okay, he used to be number 22. So I think he might have switched jerseys or something.
Yep.
But
Well, I'm going to go back to the kicker again. You had Corey Adamson, as you mentioned, from the soccer team here, the Ambush. And having him on the team, I think, is really going to help as the team progresses the rest of the season here. Because, again, it comes down to kicking sometime. And you'll talk more about this, as the game gets near the end, the points double. And those field goals can definitely help win. And I know one game in particular it did win when they had a field goal. Wow.
There's a souvenir.
Well, Adamson boots this one into the crowd down about the 4-yard line. So that's one way to stop a return.
I think he might still be a little agitated on that last field goal, which was.
He appears quite perturbed at this point, at this juncture.
He's a great kicker, though.
So
really
11
great soccer player for the Ambush as well.
Yeah, so you got to sit in with Joe De Niro. And how many games did Bill McDermott do this year?
I would say more than half.
No kidding.
Yeah,
That is cool.
I think we had 13 games. I want to say he was here for 6 or 7 of them, maybe 8.
That is super cool.
And it was a thrill to have him up here with him, and Joe was super stoked to have him with him on the air
I
as
can
well.
imagine.
And De Niro's great at play-by-play, so if you want to listen to the Ambush games, it's always good commentary for sure.
Oh, and Fred Slow did a nice job filling in with Mr. Soccer Bill McDermott.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the
Hall of
St.
Fame.
Louis University Hall of Fame.
Yes, he is.
You know, he's been on my Inside Sports show several times, and he told me a story broadcasting a World Cup game on ESPN, and I mean, there was like a riot.
I
And
believe
those
my
guys,
grandfather coached him, Bill McDermott, in soccer.
Really?
My grandfather was a Hall of Fame soccer player from St. Louis.
Papa Gherkin?
No, it was actually Sal Noto.
Really? Why don't you get him on our show?
He's been dead for a long time.
Oh, okay.
About 15 years now.
Well, rest in peace, Mr. Soto.
You guys are talking about that, and all of a sudden a football game breaks out there. Again, Jordan Powell, the Hawks quarterback, comes back in. First snap he takes, he drops the ball, and we don't have a number 22. Ends up picking up the ball, and the Hawks take over. Oh, there he is.
Antonio Nelson.
Yeah, they end up picking up the ball there, so a turnaround comes immediately.
All right, well, Dave Solomon's made his way here. We'll have him on here in just a moment. Scotty's getting out another headset, so Mr. Savant himself will be
I don't
coming
know.
on here
Should we
shortly.
give him a microphone?
Give him a headset.
So that makes it 50-1 St. Louis Attack. So our goal tonight is to get the Attack to 100 points. We're going for the century tonight. How about that? So we're talking about the St. Louis Ambush, Bill McDermott. You know, getting a guy like that from ESPN to come do the broadcast on TalkSTL.com is quite a coup d'etat.
That is super.
And joining us now, straight from Rams Park after an exciting draft, is Dave Solomon. And Dave, what a wild couple of days in the NFL draft.
Oh, it was just madness. You never know what's going to happen at the draft. I thought the Rams made an absolute killing. Greg Robinson, he's just a beast. The coaches love him. Great speed, effortless. And if he's not a pure pass blocker now, we don't know what he will develop into. Aaron Donald, Rams were tickled pink. As Les Snead has said all weekend long, feed the beast. And along those lines, Michael Sam, yes, he made history, the first openly gay player drafted by an NFL team. But Sam also, Rams thought they got a steal getting him in the 7th round. As Snead said, feed the beast as we are back underway here in the third quarter.
McMullen back to pass. He's got Stark around the near side, down to about the 16-yard line, and he's upended right there, and it's going to be second down for the Attack. Second down and 6.
Well, as I was saying before about the Rams, as the Attack just absolutely making a killing as I walk in here in the third quarter. Rams just really did a great job filling all their needs. I like the pick of Trey Mason in the third round as well. We all saw what he did against the Missouri Tigers in the SEC championship game in Atlanta.
And blocking for him was Greg Robinson, bolting up those big holes.
Going with that Auburn guy at the top, Les Snead, former player at Auburn. St. Louis Rams really developing the Auburn connection as well as the Mizzou connection. I really like seeing an array of Missouri players. He drafted E.J. Gaines, the cornerback, in the 6th round. Michael Sam in the 7th. Goes with T.J. Moe, the undrafted free agent, as it's 2nd down and 6.
How about that? McMullen, quick hitter to the left side. It's caught. First down attack, and going into the wall is the wide receiver, and that's a 1st down and 10 with 8:33 to go here in the third quarter. Dave Solomon has just joined us, and at the end of the third quarter, we're going to have a complete draft report by Dave.
I can't wait for that, as Chris Head there showing what he could do. The receivers for the attack, I hope they've been continuing. As you know, went out to the Rams, covered the draft with Michael Sam being selected at the end of the draft. Also like it as all the local flavor they had in the draft as well. I thought that's always great. Anytime you can draft it, just like they did the product from Eureka High School. I just thought the Rams, I don't put much stock into draft day grades. Anyone can look good on paper, aside from some of George Boone's pick with the old Big Red. But I think the Rams truly did a great job filling needs.
Yeah. And McMullen to the right side, down towards the end zone. And he's short.
They're calling him down.
It's number 31 again.
Inches.
Alonzo Nelson just unable to fight his way into the end zone.
Well, and you can see the difference. An outdoor team playing an indoor team. The outdoor team, the Hawks, are staying way back. They're giving a big cushion, 5, 6, 7 yards. And Mike McMullen took advantage of that. A quick pass to the far side, and the wide receiver had 6, 7 yards before anybody even touched him. So that's very important, and that's the difference. Now they're getting right up in Indy's face.
It's also quite an adjustment for the Gateway Hawks, not used to playing on the small field.
This time into the end zone. Touchdown! St. Louis attack. Number
Keenan
7.
Miller.
Keenan Miller. That's right.
Yeah, 6'2", 240. You only had about 15 inches to go, and he just put his head down went to off the right tackle and just bulled his way right in.
I tell you, McMullen's a great passer, excellent quarterback in his later years. But, just look at the running attack. You got a dual threat. You got Darrell Grady Jr. at 5'11", 230. Then Keenan Miller, 6'2", 240. That's a lot of beef right there going up the middle. And I tell you, this attack has sure tailored themselves a championship-type roster. Adamson with a PAT, it's up and it's good. And that makes it 57-1. The shutout's over. But with 6:17 to go, we're having a blast up here at the Family Arena.
You mentioned the halfback of the attack, Grady. I have not heard his name really mentioned that much tonight.
Well, he got a touchdown earlier in the game.
That's been about it, though.
I tell you, the attack is strong. Not now with the touchdown, but the defensive fumble was all around. And a lot of, I guess we'll call them 4 and outs for the Hawks.
And again, it's been quite an adjustment for the Hawks, too, having to adjust to the shorter field. But the attack really are tricky. In addition to their dynamic passing game, you have DeAndre Jackson, just an absolute burner, going along with some of the other receivers like Christopher Head. But Keenan Miller and Darrell Grady Jr. provide such a unique backfield combo. Here in the X League, your backs are more H-backs, and Grady's the bruiser.
Yeah.
But Keenan Miller, despite his size, he can really break you for some long gains.
Well, Keenan Miller's 240. Look at that ball bounce around. About 3 bounces, and the Hawks with the ball. And gosh, Grady with the tackle. Look at that. He's rolling around the end zone over there. Gotta like that. So Grady playing big on special teams as well.
Well, a little extracurricular activity. I don't know if you noticed, Max Brinkman just annihilated one of the players at the very beginning when the ball was kicked. He literally hit his knees, and the attack player went head over heels, and then they started pushing each other.
Is that a go-go song?
I don't know. It was incredible, but nothing ever happened for it. But that was way behind the play. But a lot of action happens all over the field here at the Family Arena.
Scotty Boomer, there's no DJ Prue tonight.
There's not. He's actually taking the week off. He'll be back on the next game.
Was he in Vegas?
I don't know where he went, actually.
You know, I took my annual float trip off because I'm so dedicated.
There you go. Oh, another fumble under the line.
Man, this could be a safety or a touchdown, one or the other.
A safety.
It is.
Safety attack. That's something we haven't
Looks
seen
like
a
the
lot
start
of
of the
this
last
year.
Super Bowl.
How about that? No, I want to give a big shout out to all those guys down at in Alton, Missouri, at the Scream Stream down at the Huffstedlers Campground, floating the 11-Point River today. The Big Bash is tonight, and if it wasn't a 3-hour and 45-minute drive, and Mother's Day wasn't at noon tomorrow for me, I'd be heading down to Scream Stream.
11-Point River, naturally, it goes into Arkansas as well.
Oh, it sure does. It's only about 10 minutes away from Arkansas.
It is a great river.
It sure is. There's one spot on the 11-Point where everybody tips. There's this big tree that's about a half a foot.
Is it still there?
It's still there, and everybody that knows the river, they all float right over it, and they park and watch everybody dump, and they collect their beers and stuff. So, big shout out to the guys. I wish I could have made it, but I tell you, St. Louis Attack football takes precedence over any float trip.
And one last question: why is it called the 11th point?
Well, I know it's called the 11. I don't know about the 11th. 11th. I don't know. It's got a lot of points. Sitting way up high.
I think there are a lot of creeks that flow into it, a lot of springs.
Well, I think it's
we're going to get it up here.
We almost got a souvenir up here.
Well, I think they all spurned from the Current River.
Yeah.
The Current River is one of the greatest floating rivers and natural streams. I mean, so many of those. If you look on a map, it's amazing. If you look at all the flows, because you got the Huzzah, and you got the Black River,
Merrimack.
you got the Cordaway, and the Merrimack, and the 11-Point, and they say Jack's Fork, and they all kind of are related to the Current River.
There is 11 springs that feed the 11-Point.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was many years ago when I used to go down there.
Back in the day, in the black and white.
Back in, it was fun.
Back before beepers.
It was a good 2 minutes and 23 seconds left here in the third quarter. 59-1. Wow.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to the Solomon Report at the end of the third quarter.
I am
Solomon
too.
Report might hit uncharted territories. Talking a little NFL, maybe some college football, might even have a beef about the high school ranks as well.
I was hoping to get a recipe from you today, Dave.
I got a recipe for success. It's called TalkSTL.com. It's the first pass from McMullen, batted away at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. 2nd down and 10, 1:55 to go here in the third quarter.
And David, do you you've got Mike McMullen still in the game here. Third quarter is almost expired here. What do you think about that?
Is Robert Kent even suited up today?
Yeah, he is.
I'd like to see Robert Kent. He showed a lot of promise last week against the Alabama Outlaws. Still raw. I'd like to see him work on some of his timing with his receivers. I know McMullen needs the time. I know he's a big boy. I know the attack offensive line probably have him well protected today.
Yeah.
But when you got someone like that, you never know when you might need him. I think by now we've seen McMullen enough. Let's see Robert Kent.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, McMullen doesn't
nice
want to come
job.
out of the game.
No, nice job.
That's Grady Little.
Yep.
Good defense there by the Hawks.
Sean Gassaway, linebacker, made a great tackle, open field tackle there. Just made sure he kept his feet together and then just put his head down and just grabbed them and pushed them back.
All right, 3rd down and 9. We're under a minute until the end of the third quarter.
I think we're going to have a guest here, too, with Andrew Haynes and one of the members of the Mercy group.
Oh,
They're
fantastic.
coming in and do a quick interview here.
We can always delay.
We'll bang that out, and then we'll do the Solomon Report.
We can always delay the Solomon Report for Mr. Haynes. Doing a great job. Great crowd here at the Attack game. If you're not here, you're missing out.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and...
Grady Jr. on the right side.
Ooh,
and towards the first
the
down
wall.
inside the 20-yard line. And very close to a first down. I think it's going to be 4th down and 9. Absolutely. How you doing? Hi, Don. How are you? Nice to see you. Don Sorensen, right?
Don, Scott Gargan. Very nice to meet you.
Is Sorensen right? Yeah, you're friends with Tony. Hi, Bob. How are you?
Well, we got 10 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Don
It looks
Sorensen,
like the
right?
clock is going to wind down. The Attack aren't going to be able to run another play. And if it's okay with Scotty Boom Boom, it looks like we might be taking a break here. You are listening to St. Louis Attack Football. Actually, we've got an interview right here, so it looks like we'll be going to that. For more, here's Todd Blackstock.
All right, joining me right now is a couple guys from Mercy, the president of Mercy Hospital. Don Sorensen. And Don, thanks a lot for joining us here at halftime. We're having a great time, and the St. Louis Attack are really putting it on the Gateway Hawks today.
Yeah, this is absolutely a lot of fun, and we couldn't be more proud to be the medical provider for the Attack.
Now, I see you down at Rams games, so you guys, the Mercy Group Sports Medicine, you guys are all over the place. You're supporting a lot of the local sports teams here in the St. Louis area, and that's a testament to you and your commitment to St. Louis.
Yeah, we're real proud. In fact, we take care of right now about 30,000 athletes in this region, from the Cardinals, of course, to the Attack, to the Rascals, to high school teams, to the running teams. We're really proud to be able to keep everybody healthy and in the game.
Fantastic. And also joining us from Mercy is Bob Davidson. And Bob, what's your role here tonight?
Well, I work on some of our relationships with teams like the Attack and like the Ambush, the Rascals here in St. Charles County, and of course the St. Louis Cardinals as well. And, Don said it so well. We take care of more than 30,000 people in the St. Louis area, and it's everybody from Little League to the Cardinals professional players. And really, I think what I really love about our relationship with athletes is that every Little League player is just as important to us as the center fielder for the Cardinals.
And what a big night out here. It's Mercy night, and you've got a phenomenal situation out here tonight with Isaac Bruce coming on. And how did this all come together, Don?
Yeah, so we were really happy when Isaac decided that he wanted to be a part of Mercy Sports Medicine and help us lead our program, and it seemed like a natural for him to come out here and help talk to the fans, and we went into the locker room with the team, and it was a blast.
And Bob, what do you think? Out here, everybody's having a heck of a time. Everybody's involved here. You got the fans, you got kids, you got sports teams, high school football teams are here. This is just a wonderful situation.
Yeah, you know it. I mean, nobody does it. Gosh, what an exciting time in the first season.
And Don, you're president of Mercy. I know you're down at these games, and you're down at Rams games, Cardinal games. What do you think coming up June 14th? We've got the X Bowl here, as Bob was just referring to. And how excited are you to be a part of this possible championship in the first year as the Attack?
Yeah, you know what? I'm incredibly excited. So all of St. Louis region, the greater St. Louis region, are really great sports fans, and being a part of all the great pro teams, I couldn't be more proud. And having the first year of the Attack come and get a bowl berth is absolutely outstanding for the city.
Now, I see you around town. I know you hook up and partner up with different restaurants around St. Louis, like Cafe Napoli in Clayton, and Tony Piatosa is a good buddy of yours.
Yeah.
You want to give a shout out to Big T?
Yeah, you know what? Tony is one of my best friends, and his restaurant in Clayton, Napoli, is a wonderful place.
I think you snuck him down on the field a couple of times at the Rams games.
I have, exactly.
How about that? And Bob, we're going to let you go here in a second, fourth quarter action just beginning. We have any final thoughts or anything you want to say about Mercy?
Well, you know what I would say, I can talk about Mercy all day, but you know what I'd also like to say is Andrew Haynes is just doing such an amazing job for St. Charles County and the general St. Louis region. He's brought winning football to this area with the Attack. He's brought great crowd entertainment with the Ambush, and we're so proud to be part of it. We're Mercy's able to be the medical provider for both those teams and then some. And I guess, as Mercy ties into it, again, more than 30,000 people, from little kids to the pros, are turning to Mercy. And a year from now, that 30,000 is going to be 60 or 90,000.
That's unbelievable. Before we let you go, Don, over 6,800 last game. There's a big crowd out here tonight. This St. Louis Attack football is growing and growing. But the community is coming together. It's just an awesome situation.
It is absolutely awesome, and we are delighted to be a part of it. Mercy is delighted to be a part of it.
Well, thank you very much. Don Sorensen, president of Mercy, and Bob Davidson. We really appreciate you guys coming out here, and look forward to seeing you down the road.
Thanks, you.
Guys. Good luck to you.
All right, appreciate it. Dave Solomon's going to take it over.
All right, and first off, while we were talking to the fine folks at Mercy,
game.
Corey Adamson kicked a 33-yard field goal in his 62-1 attack, 13-17 to go here in the fourth quarter. The Gateway Hawks returning it out to the 20-yard line. That is Dallas Vaughn on the return, the 5'11 running back from St. Louis, Missouri, in his first year with the Hawks. So the Hawks will take over, first down and 10 on the 21. And on the Solomon report, I'm going to touch on a hot topic, quarterbacks. But first, before that, we've got the fine owner of the St. Louis Ambush and the St. Louis Attack, Andrew Haynes.
Yeah, Andrew, thanks a lot for sitting in with us. Must be a very special, exciting night for you as you got the Mercy guys out here, the president, but, of course, Isaac Bruce night. Very, very exciting.
That's awesome. I mean, he's a legend, and I was just happy to get to meet him. A lot of fans, in St. Louis love Isaac. He did a lot for the city, and just getting to talk to him a little bit, man, just such a great guy, too.
I met him at his party on his 40th birthday at the Isaac Bruce Bob and Weave Ball. Had a chance to interview him, and he was just a super guy. Real low-key, but, he's always taking great care of himself, and he does all the right things. So he's a great guy to emulate, and what a great example for all these kids out here, and even adults as well.
Yeah, I mean, our players were real excited to get to meet him as well. He came in the locker room and talked to the guys pregame, and, we're just real thankful to have a partner like Mercy. Without their support, it makes it real difficult to operate a team. And, the Mercy night, we got a great turnout. They were able to get Isaac Bruce out here for us. And we got some big stuff planned for the X Bowl, which is presented by Mercy as well. So
2nd and 8 right now is a couple yards by the Gateway Hawks. What about this game? 62-1. You're almost looking at a shutout, but you got the long field goal.
It's tough, for a non-league opponent like this coming in. They're an outdoor team. Their guys don't get paid, ours do, and our guys have been practicing together for a few months, and right now we're kind of hitting stride. I mean, we're topping our league, and these guys are they're having fun out here. I mean, they want to get better so that we can make sure we bring that championship home to St. Louis.
Yeah, I know you're going to have a couple of cool events we'll talk about after this play, and roll to the left side, and nothing doing as the attack defense, Gerard Powell and the other members come up big there, but I know it looks like the night before, the day before, the players are going to be going to the different hospitals and other places and giving back and showing their face in the community, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I think it's really great that, we talked to all the teams, and, that's great, 5,712 people tonight, so, and another solid night for us. But, it's good when I talk to the other owners in the league about doing some community work when we're here for the championship. Everybody was on board, and, we have a united front when it comes to that. I mean, we want to give back, as a league and as teams, and I think it's great. We're going to have fun. We have a league banquet on Friday the 13th. And we'll be out at Mercy's Children's Hospitals all day.
We'll look forward to that, having a lot of fun. Last week it was over 6,800. Tonight, 5,700. These crowds continue to be awesome out here at the Family Arena. I want to congratulate you on your marketing efforts and getting the word out about St. Louis Attack football here in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, we've got a great, dedicated staff. And, our players are working hard, too, in the community to make sure that we get people out here. But you can't come out and not have a good time.
It's a great time.
They're having a good time.
I mean, they're doing all that. And TalkSTL.com is with you. We're doing everything we can to help support your team, and we will continue to do that.
Yeah, no, we're excited to have a long-term relationship with TalkSTL. So, we can't wait to wrap up our multi-year deal coming up and get that announced here. Having a press conference at Ballpark Village on May 21st. So come and check us out at noon.
That's a beautiful thing. Andrew Haynes, the owner of the St. Louis Attack, St. Louis Ambush, and Missouri Sports Holding, joining us here and having a great time. So we'll continue that. And
He's a great guy. It's been a treat working with the organization and Missouri Sports Holdings with the Ambush and the Attack. And did I hear a multi-year deal? Did I hear that correctly?
It's on record. He went on record.
That's good news. That's good news.
That's really awesome. So, Dave Solomon, we got a little downtime, and you want to chime in and do your report? And
sure, I'll do a Solomon report.
You can do your Solomon report and play-by-play all at once, since you're like Rain Man. I was talking to Frank Ladd last night.
Frank Ladd, the fine producer of McGraw-Millhaven in the Morning.
I saw him at Patrick's.
Yeah.
We were watching Joe Dirt, and I said, I'm doing a game tomorrow with Dave Solomon. And I said, he's doing a great job. And he was talking about your multitasking. So why don't you multitask for us right now the rest of this game?
All right, well, we've got 8:28 to go here in the fourth quarter. The Gateway Hawks trail the St. Louis Attack by a score of 62-1, 4th down and 9. But the NFL draft was today, and the St. Louis Rams did a great job filling their needs. The one potential knock you could have on the Rams was their delay to take a quarterback.
I thought they could have taken A.J. McCarron. If they wouldn't have moved up and lost their 5th-round pick, he was there.
Yeah, you might talk about them losing their 5th-round pick, but was it worth it to them? It absolutely, according to Les Snead, to get LaMarcus Joyner, as it looks like the Gateway Hawks are attempting a long field goal, a 35-43-yard attempt. The kicker, Max Brinkman, back to kick. Ball is up, and the kick is blocked, and it goes into the stands. No good. Defensive stop for the Attack. And we should have a score here of 60. Are they going to add the point for 63 for the defensive stop?
Does that come into play with the field? With the
Yes,
extra
it
point?
does.
Yeah.
Because you turn over the ball on downs, it's a missed field goal. It's still a stop, so it is now 63-1.
At least
Attack.
it's a souvenir,
Now, exactly. That's a great thing about these games, too, is you get a ball in the stands, it's yours to keep.
David, I noticed they were trying to rush the kicker. A guy literally rolled into the kicker. I mean, do they not call that?
Well, we've got 7 minutes left. There are many fine establishments who sponsor these broadcasts here, both for the St. Louis Attack and TalkSTL.com.
There we are. We're on TV right now.
I think everyone's looking forward to just getting out and about and going on their way. Had a great time here. Great place, family-friendly, but not just for the kids, as I like to emphasize, meaning if you're a bunch of 20-somethings, like I was until recently, and still sometimes think of myself, you can come out here with the guys or the gals, have a great time, as long as it's all done in moderation. And it's not just for the kids, but yet you can bring the kids and they can have a great time. Just a great atmosphere here for St. Louis Attack football at the Family Arena.
And a lot of you individuals out there are probably saying, what does David Solomon look like? Well, if you go to my newspaper, mycnews.com.
You need to read the community news.
The community newspaper, mycnews.com. You can go to the website, and basically you go to page 10, but you when you go to mycnews.com, first of all, you need to click on the North and Northwest St. Louis County edition. That is where the picture is of David Solomon, along with your broadcast partner.
Yes, Todd Blackstock, he's featured in there too.
He is featured in there too.
You can see Todd on STL TV as well. Me, you can just see on pre- and post-game shows on Fox Sports Midwest. I arguably might get more airtime than Jimmy the Cat Hayes, as Mike McMullen is taking the field again. Still no Robert Kent. Mike McMullen taking snaps under center as the Attack look like they're going to start on their own 5-yard line here for maybe 1 or 2 last drives.
Are you surprised that Todd Blackstock, Mike's still in there 7 minutes?
I really am. I'm wondering if the backup, if Kent, I mean, he's on the roster, so. Oh, well. I guess he's such a big guy, he's kind of hard to hurt.
But this has me a rant where if we get another stoppage, I might have to go on a little rant about quarterbacks. But anyway, Mike McMullen under center, looking and said, hands it off to Keenan Miller. Miller at the 10 to the 15, taken down by a host of tacklers at the 19, just shy of the 20-yard line. Lead tackler on that play is Nate Jones, the safety for the Gateway Hawks. First down and 10, and the officials spot it right at the 19-yard line. 6:40 to go here in the fourth quarter. But it's very interesting with quarterbacks. I mean, you see a starter like McMullen, the Rams, with all the name power at quarterback. They wind up going with Garrett Gilbert, who still might be a decent pick, but you wonder why quarterbacks don't go sooner. I just haven't figured out the formula on why some quarterbacks get the hype. I mean, let's take the Missouri prep scene, for example. Who was the leading passer in the St. Louis area?
Boom Boom.
Who was he?
Who was he?
I mean, you guys are football fans.
Boom Boom.
What? I didn't even hear the question.
Who was the leading Who was the leading high
I think the
school
guy
passer?
from Webster Groves.
No, and I'll have that for you in a second. But right now it's first down and 10 from the 19.
CBC.
Mike McMullen passes, gets it off to Dunston, gain of a couple yards. It's second down and 7. It looks like safety Nate Jones in on the tackle again. Nick Gremod also had a role in bringing down Dunston. Second down, we'll go ahead and call it 7 yards to go. No, it's actually leading passer is actually a quarterback out of Union High School, Blake Halsey. You probably haven't heard of him very much.
Well, Union's kind of out in the sticks there
It's
on
out
the
in
way
the
to
sticks,
Rolla.
but when
Careful. That's on the way to the float trips. You got to go through Union. You got to
44.
go through Washington and down.
But should it really matter where it is? I mean, talent's talent. I mean, too many D1 schools, I think, are missing out on this guy.
Good point,
David.
David.
I encourage you all, if you have time, you think Union's going to be playing a game or two in the St. Louis area, but somebody check him out. I mean, it's an absolute travesty.
What about Pierre Desir of Lindenwood? Now, he dropped down a little bit
Cleveland
further.
Browns. Well, he's a very raw product as it's second down. McMullen hands it off to Keenan Miller. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10, 5, breaks a tackle. Touchdown attack. Keenan Miller as a flag is thrown after the play as Mike McMullen is getting mixed up. Hopefully there aren't any suspensions here since this is not a league game. But Keenan Miller, as we have a little unsportsmanlike conduct on the attack, touchdown's good. It's all academic.
Well, if he gets suspended, they might have to replay that May 30th game, so he can be suspended that game and be eligible for the X
You
Bowl.
wouldn't think there'd be a suspension in a non-league game, but it's a 28-yard touchdown run for Keenan Miller.
I mentioned this earlier. Number 54, Max Brinkman of the Gateway Hawks, totally annihilated one of the would-be tacklers as he was coming downfield. Well, at this place, he tried to cold cock, literally, the quarterback, Mike McMullen, on the far side, about 20 yards away from the play. And nobody saw it, but the referee saw it, and that's why you saw the yellow hankies.
Get Mac out of there.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think the attack are blowing this game, even with the final rules in the final minute.
And you watch him. He's going to come. Boy, he's in the backfield. Watch him dive. Look at that.
Corey Adamson with the kick. It is up, and it is good. Attack up by 69 points, 70-1.
I wonder if a lot of these guys know each other.
No, well, I know he doesn't. Right now, he's just running everybody like a brick wall. Mac Brinkman is not being very kosher with the players. Now the coach is saying, "Settle down. I'll take care of them."
And as an expert in kashrut, it's only natural for the tempers to start flaring. But come on, you know that you're lucky to play on this field. Your club's probably getting maybe getting if not a decent payday, some nice exposure. Don't make a fool out of yourself if you ever want to come on and play on the big field again, or in this case, the small field but the big stage.
This is true. All right, Dave, so what else? I thought Pierre Desir. No, I mean, he's from Lindenwood. I thought there were reports saying he might be the first-round draft pick ever from Lindenwood.
Forget that. I don't know what reports
Well,
you were
he
seeing.
was going to
Sources can say
transfer.
anything. Sources can say anything, but Pierre Desir was never going to be a first-round pick. He was maybe going to be a day 2 pick, but you have to always factor in bias to whatever you're reporting.
Well, maybe it was from the Francis Howell Central Newsgram.
Maybe. Or maybe it was from LUTV. Not that that's not a fine production by the students at Lindenwood University.
No, I did see a report on draft night. But nonetheless, he got picked. I mean, the Browns did a lot. I mean,
yeah, as Corey Adamson kicks off, Daniel Lindemann back to return. Lindemann out to the 10, the 15, finds a seam to the 20, and finally goes down at the 23. Chad Stanley in on the tackle.
You know, and at 5'7", that number 21 does a super job. Lindemann does a super job just putting his body in line, but then he makes some good moves. He makes some good lateral moves. He just doesn't go head on to an individual. He puts the jukes on these guys, and he's able to pick up those extra 3, 4, 5 yards.
Oh, with his small stature, it's important for him to use his lateral quickness.
Has to.
Because against bigger and stronger players, if he just goes head on, he's not going to have a long career, and he's a 4-year veteran with the Gateway Hawks as well.
Good point.
We have 2:48 and counting to go here in the fourth quarter. Great crowd, 57-12 on hand. And if you think this is great, I encourage you to come out to the X Bowl June 14th here at Family Arena. Let's try to pack the place so that you have no other option but to listen or watch on TalkSTL.com. Boy, would that be a great problem to have. And I encourage you, too, if for a different brand of radio, it's almost too good to be radio, check out some of the great program. I know, Todd, I was on your show this past Tuesday night.
That was a blast.
6 to 8. Oh, we had lots of fun. We just let it all fly. We let stuff that I can't say on the broadcast right now fly, but you can say on TalkSTL.com.
Well, they're not supposed to, but they do.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
You won't get arrested by the FCC.
Exactly.
But we're going to try to keep it clean with the attack, and
Exactly.
you know we're getting ready to
families
sign a
are
new
listening
multi-year.
too.
Yeah, and plus
but
we're-
right now, the Hawks are taking over at the attack 17 following the penalty on Mike McMullen after the extra point. Fumbled snap, and it looks like this one's going to the attack.
Again.
Yeah, this time quarterback is Rob Thompson. He took the ball. Basically, he was looking to see where he was going to pass before he even got the ball snapped from the center. He was right up on the center there, and he just literally dropped the ball. That's about the fourth exchange that has been dropped.
And Alonzo Nelson with the recovery. When he saw the ball fumbled by Thompson, Nelson just dove right in like a bullet before anyone could react. There was no doubt about it that he came away with the ball. So with 1:20 to go, the attack offense are taking the field for one final time, and it's about that time, guys. I'm not going to be able to
We're
really
going to
take
have our
part
Paul
in this.
Minio player of the
we had
game.
some great food from there, by the way, after the show Tuesday night. Great destination, Westport Plaza, Paul Minio's.
I know, Gary. We've seen a wide variety of people tonight have done great things in this ball game. What are your thoughts?
Well, if we're looking naturally at the St. Louis attack as far as what they've been doing tonight, have they been playing 100%? Maybe they're a little lacklustered, but I'm going to just give it. I'm going to say Mike McMullen. I mean, as a new quarterback, comes into the game right now.
Wow, Corey Adamson in motion. Adamson tries to give a block.
What is he doing out there?
I know. Instead, Chris Head takes the ball, carries it,
and another
out to
helmet
the
comes off.
23.
Well, the PA announcer had something going on. The crowd cheered loud enough they were going to put Adamson in at wide receiver, and I think that they were.
Maurice Prophet lost his hat.
That might have been the final play of the game as the play clock exceeds the game clock.
Well, then we'll make it official. The Talk STL Paul Minio player of the game is the quarterback, 6'6", 270-pounder.
Number 13.
Number 13, former pitcher of the San Francisco Giants, Mike McMullen.
The old man gets it.
And as we end the game here, we'll go ahead and do our Solomon report to wind things up and wrap it up tonight. Dave?
All right, well, the attack defeat the Hawks 71-1, and I think that it is just an amazing thing to see the chemistry and how the attack have been focused all season long. I only came in after covering the NFL draft midway through the third quarter, but the attack, it's very easy sometimes. I mean, we even saw that when they played the Marine Raiders in Florida. The attack kind of took the first half off, but they are determined, driven. They already have home field advantage in the X-Bowl. I just think that the attack have what it takes to win, and it doesn't matter what level it is, whether it's the X League or the NFL. And again, the Rams, I think, very poised. It'll be very interesting to see what you can do with Jeff Fisher, Smash Mouth football. No, this isn't the greatest show on turf, just like TalkSTL.com isn't radio, but it's still a great thing. You've got a great Smash Mouth offense. I think a couple dynamic running backs, Trey Mason, to go with Zach Stacy and Benny Cunningham. Even if you don't have the dynamic passing attack in Sam Bradford, I think you've got enough there so if the receivers can go to the next step, which is a big if.
You know, I think Sam Bradford is a hell of a quarterback, and this should be his year. This should be his year.
But if there are problems with Bradford, I think Brian Schottenheimer has to come under fire.
Let me ask you this. The Rams took the quarterback in the draft, and he was formerly with Texas, and I believe he transferred to LSU?
He actually transferred to Southern Methodist.
SMU.
Garrett Gilbert.
Yes. What do you know about him?
Well, I know he was regarded, obviously, if you aren't a slouch if you go to Texas. But Gilbert, I wasn't able to watch him play much because most of the time I'm either watching the SEC and mostly the Missouri Tigers because my main radio station is the home of the Missouri Tigers. But I think he's a prospect, a player to watch, but I don't think Sam Bradford's going to be sweating or looking over his shoulder anytime soon.
Well, this guy, he's got 6'4", 6'5", 220 pounds. He's got a gun for an arm, so that's awesome. The two defensive backs have had some legal issues. I know the gentleman from Eureka, I think he punched out a teammate. He was suspended for a year.
Jeff Fisher.
He likes those kind of guys.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, you obviously want to take character over no character. Jeff Fisher does not go out looking for thugs. But both he and Les Snead both addressed that and said that they're confident that, things happen. Crap happens, Can you, if not you personally, cannot any of you listening or watching this broadcast out there say that when you were between 18 and 22, you didn't do something stupid?